Hello, and welcome to Life Offset Podcast. This is
Ruby.
I am Robin.
And I'm Crystal.
And for today, we are going to talk about red flags in the industry. What to look out for whenever you are looking to find an agent, a class, auditions. What are things to stay away from? What are things you want to be on alert? And what are some real stories that we've actually experienced?
Yes.
So let's get it started. So red flags, I think so many of us come out here and we're like, all right, I'm going to do the thing, right? Mm-hmm. Which is what we talked about. We made the decision. I think that can kind of happen in a couple of ways. You can either already have representation while you're here. Mm-hmm. You can gain representation while you're on your way here. Or you find out and get a referral or learn about it in the industry. But what are some of the things that you either have experienced or you always tell people to look out for in the industry?
There's this thing that people always send to me, even though I work and everything. I won't call it out by name because it would be a scandal. But there's this place. It has numbers, and it's 2 numbers back to back. And people always send it to me, and I think y'all know what I'm talking about. And you have to pay for it. It's a service, but it's mainly background work. And some people are like, oh no, I booked speaking part. I'm like, no, you didn't. You didn't book no speaking parts. Paying to be background. And they make you pay like a certain amount of money per month just to possibly get background roles. And people send it to me all the time. Beware of things like that. That is not a real agency. It's not a real casting website. Yeah, sure. I'm pretty sure some places use it, but nothing reputable. I'll just go ahead and say it. Should I say it?
Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. I've never used it before.
So. Me neither.
But I know what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
It's 2 numbers back to back. It's less than 100.
Mm-hmm. And I will just go to say, period.
It's less than 100, but more than 98.
There you go. I got 99 problems. Look,
ain't one.
That ain't one. I think the biggest thing is one of the things everybody is always like, oh, how much does that cost? And I'm like, nothing should cost anything from anybody in the industry unless there is a actual service being rendered.
Yes.
Like that is when a transaction should happen. And so I'm not saying this to be a snob. I'm not saying this, but my agent has never let me, because of the type of talent that I am, she has literally never allowed me to do background work.
Yeah.
It is not something that I've ever submitted for. I'm not against it. My husband, on the other hand, has booked a cajillion background roles on major shows, reoccurring background roles, being featured in, some things. It's paid some of our bills sometimes, the little knick-knack bills. So not against it, but he went with a very reputable agency.
Yeah.
That literally, it's the number 1 background agency in the world. Yeah. And so, I think legitimacy is a really important thing. And how do we go about finding legitimacy, would you say?
That's what it is, yeah. And I think what we can probably do for the people listening is, in the comment section of the video, maybe we can put what the reputable ones are.
Yes.
If you are seeking background work. I just want to make sure that we clarify, because there are things you do have to pay for.
Yeah.
But you should never pay for someone to submit you for work.
No.
Period. Not an agent, not a manager. They get paid when you get paid.
Period.
Now, there are services here in LA where you might pay $75 a month or something like that. When I came out here, they were like, oh yeah, I pay them this amount, and they'll book me on, it's like an automatic booking thing where they'll book you for background. But there's also places like, what is that place that everybody goes? Central Casting?
Mm-hmm.
Central Casting doesn't cost. So that's why I'm always kind of like, when people say they pay to be booked on background, and there's no shade to background because background is necessary.
Absolutely.
But paying to be booked on background is kind of wild to me. Granted, I didn't go through that. I did do some Central Casting stuff, but I never paid. I just submitted. I came waiting in that long line in the heat, did the whole thing, filled out the paperwork back in the day. I'm pretty sure it's all streamlined on the internet.
It is.
But
it's very easy and simplified now.
Yeah. But back then, and even now, you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. But casting networks, Actors Access, those types of things you do have to pay for.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and speaking of Central Casting, that is the agency that is most well known, and they pay out quickly. Again, you don't have to pay for anything. You're working on major TV shows. My husband was probably on 15 or 20, being featured in a lot of them. So if you are looking for background work, it's a it's a great way to be able to one, get experiences being on set, on legitimate sets, but also to possibly get your face shown. There's a few people that he's worked with on those sets, and they are reoccurring on TV shows now because Central Casting keeps bringing them in, or they are featured extras. So shout out to everybody that is there. It's an important space to be able to occupy and to be able to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we have to, if you're coming into this industry, you have to look at yourself like you're a business. So why would you want to pay somebody $75 or $100 a month for you to book a role that's going to pay you maybe $200? I don't know what the background rate is for SAG right now, but you're not getting any return on your investment. So if you're thinking about yourself as a business, you also won't make mistakes like that. So, yeah.
Really important. Now, let's talk about, I guess the opportunities, the way about going about to get an agent, I think is really important that we kind of talk about that. That's and good. What we're looking for, how you find an agent, and what are some of the savviest ways that we found ways to get agent or representation or just information in the industry, even how to sign up for a class.
Yeah.
The one thing I always have had is referrals. I think referrals are the best way to get into anywhere in this industry. I always say it's not who you know, but who knows you.
Yeah.
And when people really know you and vouch for you, they will put you out there and strategically put you in a position for success, which has happened to me. So I'm always constantly, it's why I'm always in class, not just to be in the class, but to always be with my classmates to be like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Who are you with? What's going on? Like, what's happening to you in the industry right now? And the amount of feedback and data that I get, like the money that I paid for the class, the $300 a month, like completely outweighs the information, or the information that I'm getting outweighs the money. So it's definitely worth it. So with agents, it's a great way to get in because, you already have their direct email and a referral. That actually happened for us. Crystal.
Oh, yes.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
So we're all signed. Ruby and I were signed to Coast, which is the #1 commercial agent. Shout out to Hugh, in Los Angeles. But at the time, Crystal was looking for additional representation in commercial. And, when you can drop a couple of names from 2 reputable talent that they're already working with, of course, in addition to all of her great talents and amount of work that she's done and all of the things. But, sometimes they don't want to listen to people because they're like, I don't want to waste my time, And when you have a referral, boom.
Yeah.
Referrals, the word of mouth is so popular in business or powerful in business in general. Like, forget the industry, but in general, like this is how you go find, if you want your hair braided, who do you don't go in a Yellow Pages to find a braider.
At all.
You go on Instagram and then you might look through some pages and go see how they did. And like your husband said, they keep scrolling to see how consistent this person is. But also like, oh, so-and-so follows them. They must get their hair braided. How did you like her? Right. Yep. And it's the same thing in our industry. It's like, okay, can this person, behave well on set? Are they professional? Do they do good work? Are they going to make me look bad? All those things go into play when it comes to, relationships and word of mouth. And the same thing with your agent, like, or with our agent. Is he good? Like, it's not enough for me to just be like, oh, I need an agent. But it's like, well, am I going to bring myself over there? Because then they could have very well been like, nah, he sucks.
Right.
And I would have been like, on to the next. Because that's happened. I've had agents where people hit me up and they'd be like, Crystal, how is she? How is he? I'd be like, I'm actually about to leave. Yeah. And they'd be like, cool, thank you. I appreciate it. Because they also value my point of view from things. Because they know that I'm professional and I'm not out here dilly-dallying and, whatever have you. So, and it's the same thing. I respect them enough to know that when they say do something or don't do something, that they know what they're talking about.
And honestly, for me though, I agree, but I've never gotten an agent from a referral. Yes, I've always, let me take that back. I'll ask my manager, I'll have like a list and he'll be like, okay, I have people here. That's how I got in with Coast to Coast.
Right.
You know, my manager was like, I know other talent that are with them. Let me go ahead and help you, get this crafted. However, typically that like friend to friend referrals, that's not a thing for me in the industry. I've always, anytime I'm looking for representation, I go immediately to the SAG website and I literally just look at the list of SAG franchise approved agents, and that's how I've always done it, because my very first agent burned me. I was working, this was back when I was still in Texas, and me and my entire family had booked a commercial together. It was a Christmas campaign. It was running. It was really great. And I was rep by my agent, but my husband and my daughter, my agent wasn't receiving commission based on them. They were separate, right? So when they got their checks, I'm like, okay, great. My check for my agent should be coming within like 2 weeks, maybe 3. 6 months pass and I still don't have my check, but my family has received their money, right? And I realized it was an ongoing thing. It was taking me months at a time to receive checks. And from that point on, I said, every agent I find will not be through google.com. I'm going to go straight to SAG and I'm going to find my agent. So if you are new to this industry and you don't have that referral, you don't have somebody that's going to refer you because they don't know you, you ain't done any work, go to the SAG website. Not to say that every agent that you find on there is going to be great, but it's a healthy starting point.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a really healthy starting point. I think the one thing I always say in this industry is pedigree. And I can't say it enough. Like, if I'm taking advice from someone, I need to know your pedigree.
Absolutely.
What have you booked?
Where are the receipts?
Where are your receipts? And what are the amounts on those receipts?
Yeah, because if it's 10 cents, I'm going to keep it pushing.
Good for you, because you're still a professional. A professional is somebody who gets paid something. I'm trying to be a different level of professional. Yes. And so whenever I see certain receipts, you understand, like, again, looking at an agent, I'm looking at that page and I'm like, oh, okay, they're starting in the next Captain America. They're starting in the new Google ad. They're starting. So I'm like, one, that's a really great thing to see, but also the people that you're talking to. SAG is obviously, I don't want to say it's the everything, but it is the standard of the industry, right? Absolutely. And it's really important that, you follow suit, when you're coming into this industry. It's why when we talk about classes, it's the other thing is like, we're all training. Every actor wants to be a coach and a teacher because they think that they're phenomenal. Like, there are so many classes to take, but I'm like, who did you crank out? Right? And they're like, at my school, it's Halle Berry, Tom Hanks, Robert De Niro, Robin Wright. That's all I need to know.
Yeah. Right.
Pedigree, legacy, for me, whether I'm looking for an agent, whether I'm looking for a class, whether, any experience that I'm trying to have. I could be going to a cocktail party. I'm like, who gonna be there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Because I'm not about to get dressed up. And if there's no opportunities, and not to sound like an opportunist, but I'm here to opportune.
Right.
Like, I'm not here I can go hang out in Houston and in Oakland and be normal and have a job. But I came here to opportune. So that's what we're going to do. I'm not here to be like, oh, gimme, because I'm very much so of service. But who all going to be over there?
Right.
Because if y'all just over there playing spades, I can go home.
I ain't got time.
I ain't got time. I'm here to get this money.
Yeah.
And I'm also here to just leave a legacy. I'm not here to play.
Right.
Sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah.
And people don't like me because of that. I don't care.
No.
Opportune.
Well, we are in an industry where opportunities arise, right?
Yeah.
We are always preparing for those opportunities and to be prepared for them. So it's what we're supposed to do. So, and I think when you're supposed to do that, people also see you and they're like, oh no, I'm willing to like vouch for this person. And to add on the way that we're getting our agents, you were a referral. You went on to a source. For me, I actually came out here with an agent because my agent is in Texas, but she opened up her agency for me and my family only here in Los Angeles. Not that she wanted to like solely represent me that entire time, But for her, she said, I may not be the best agent for you in Los Angeles, but I know we can get some things started. I know we can get some things going. And then when it's time, I'm getting rid of you. And I was very threatened by that. But she started the agency out here for me, and I was able to book out here, which gave me the credit to be able to get to my agent that she referred me to and wrote the letter to, you know, and so that does change everything, you know, and so when you have people that are kind of with you and along with you, she's now my manager, but she quit me. She fired me. She was like, literally 2 weeks ago, she's like, all right, it's time. I'm like,
It's time to fly.
I'm like, like,
But she's your manager now.
she's my manager now. And even still, she's like, we need to find you even better manager. Like, we need to find you better agents. We need to like be doing all the things, but she's not letting me go.
And that's going back to red flags.
Yeah.
If you have representation that doesn't want to let you go and you know that you're growing and they're trying to hold on to you and hoard you, that is a red flag, especially if you're blossoming and blooming and they know they can't keep up, but they want to keep a firm grip on you because they see the potential, but at the same time, they're also stunting your growth.
Yes.
If they can't see that they know, like what your manager and agent just said, like, it's time for you to fly. Like, you need a better agent. Like, she knew where she stood with her. She knew that she was supposed to be the star that she is and that she couldn't help her anymore. You want somebody who's on your team like that, who knows when to back off and not feel all butthurt because you moved on. It's like, it's a business at the end of the day.
Yes.
It's healthy.
Yeah, it's healthy.
Everything is a relationship.
It is.
And if it doesn't feel like a true healthy relationship, then what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because you wouldn't tolerate that from a significant other. You wouldn't tolerate that from a friend. You wouldn't tolerate, like, it's just relationships.
It's relationship.
You know?
And I can understand that. I was with an agent that was repping me across the board. And when I made the decision to change commercial agents, I let them know, hey, I would still love to be repped theatrically from you because I feel like you are getting me a lot of great work theatrically, a lot of great auditions. However, commercially, I feel like there's something more for me out there. And they completely dropped me because they refuse to only rep me in one category. So I get that. It's like, if we can't have all of you, we don't want none of you. And so it hurt.
Yeah.
I bet
It hurt. Yeah.
Even Hugh, when I signed with Coast to Coast, he was like, you know, we don't really do cross the board because, and if anybody wants you to do cross the board, it's a red flag. Just know it's a red flag because every agent, especially here in LA, we have agents for every single division. So if it's commercial, it's a commercial agent. If it's theatrical, you have theatrical rep for that. And by theatrical, we mean film and TV, right? So if they're trying to dib and dab in both, how can they give you the best of both worlds if they're trying to do both? Like, they have their specialty. Like, when we set up the podcast, we knew that she was going to be more organized than us, especially more than me, because I can't do it, right? And I'm the more technical person, and this is the visionary person. We knew what our strengths were. Same thing with your agents. They know what their strengths are. If they're better with commercial, let them be good with commercial and keep it there.
Right.
Don't try to be everything to everybody and hold you back
Right.
in the situation, like what your manager was saying.
Diversification is so incredibly important, and it's not just, I could go to Ruby for everything that I needed, which Ruby would give me great advice, great information, like all of the things that I need to hear. But if I never heard from Crystal, how can I bounce ideas off of the three of us, right? Like, two heads is always better than one. And I think there's just a way to, like, having one contact, you have access just to their contacts. But if you have 10 contacts, you have access to all 10 contacts. So, you know, you should have the diversification, you know, and it should be there so that you can have more diversification. You know, it's networking at the end of the day. So it's important. Let's talk about, we're talking about red flags.
Yes.
When we're coming into the industry. Let's talk about us as the red flag. What makes people red flags to agents, to managers, to casting directors, to other people in the industry that are trying to help you in the industry? What are some things that you notice from people that are like, oh, this industry isn't for me, or I had this negative experience, or I can't go over here, or these agents are all bad, and, you know, that's just Hollywood, and I'm never going to go to LA because it's filled with sharks. We've all said these things.
Weird.
Holly weird. right? Like, what are the red flags as talent that you've noticed from other people maybe sabotaging themselves in the career?
This is good.
Yeah, that's real good.
Not having your platforms set up. Actors Access and your casting network. If that stuff isn't set up, I don't want to hear about what auditions you aren't getting, who's not calling you in. If you don't have quality headshots on that platform, if you don't have reels or footage from projects you've done, record a monologue and put that bad boy on there. Put something on there. If the platform ain't set up, I don't want to hear that you're moving back home because it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's always talking about things that that they're going to do, but not many people are spending the time actually doing it. And so we can talk all day about like, oh, I have this idea and like it's, but just shoot it, get it done.
Get it done.
You know, you're mad that you don't have headshots yet. Like you've been out here for 4 years and you still don't have brand new headshots.
And you
but
can get a deal for $100.
Yeah.
well, and you go, but you went to go get your nails done 5 times.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about the price of. Do you see my nails? They're not done. Why? Because I need things done for my acting career.
Yeah.
Right. Like there are things that have to happen that I'm investing in other places.
Yes.
Right. And so, I think making priority, you know, the things that you need to have done is important.
And I think that's good and that's true. But I also feel like if you really don't have it, you don't need to be perfect to put something up there. This right here will shoot you on portrait mode.
Yeah.
And get on a nice background and make that your headshot until you can save up the money. And a casting director is not gonna not call you in if you look like you fit the part.
Right.
They might pass if it's a major part and they already know the actors that they want to have in for their pool of talent that they're choosing from. You very well might get passed over. But I'd rather have something that's an 8 out of 10 on there versus not having anything at all. And that's just how I operate. I'd rather start imperfect than not start at all. I don't want to wait. I'm saving $200 for my headshot session while I have nothing on. No, I'm saving $200 for my headshot session, probably more like $500, but you can't get deals for my headshot session. But I have a picture up there right now. Me and my friend shot a short film and I have footage on there right now of, on Actors Access and put something up there while you're in the in-between.
Yeah. I just did a special last week, right after, on Sunday, after we shot. I did a special for $100. It was one look.
That's amazing.
And the pictures, I don't know if y'all saw the
We did.
stories. They looked amazing. And I've been going to this guy for years. Now, eventually, I'll probably go to another photographer. You know, as you grow, you go to different photographers because you don't stay with the same one forever because they have different skill levels and whatnot. But like you said, you can get a deal. In addition to getting a deal, you can use your phone. There's YouTube University. There's Instagram. There's there's an app on Instagram called Camera Tricks and all these different platforms and people giving out free information and people don't want to use it. They're lazy. And I'm sorry to say it, but it is. It's like, it's not like you don't know where to do it or how to find out about information, but you have to have the drive. In this industry, drive is everything. Hustle is everything. Everything you do needs to center around, building what you're trying to build. If you don't have it, you make a way. When you don't have a backdrop for an audition, you find a clean wall.
Yeah.
If you don't have a clean wall, you get a clean sheet and you make sure it's ironed out and unwrinkled. You do the best that you can. When I first started auditioning at home doing self-tapes, I had lights from Home Depot. It was $6 lights and they were super warm. But you know what? I still booked off of that light.
There you go.
And I used a black sheet that I had pinned up on my wall in Texas.
There you go.
So there's too many outlets. It's too much like, once you have the drive to do something, you want something bad enough, you make it happen.
You do.
You don't have an excuse, I'm saving up for headshots. I wanted to lose 40 pounds before I took more headshots. But you know what? I was like, no, this deal is too good to pass up. And his setup has gotten better. Let me go ahead and hop on this $100 deal he got going on. And I'm glad I did because these pictures look fire.
Well, and I think too, for yourself, you're allowed to see yourself in the moment. You're also allowed to see yourself in the past. That shows you your progress. And that also encourages you to continue on whatever process or path that you're on, whether it's weight, whether it's a look, whether it's a hairstyle, whether it's whatever. It's like, where am I at right now in this moment? And be okay with that. Because that's who you are on tape right now.
Exactly.
That's your character.
Exactly.
So.
It brings to mind things for me. I'm always talking about a book because I'm always reading something. And so I just finished Will Packer's. I think I brought that up last episode too. But he says in there, when you don't have everything you need right now, just fabricate the momentum. And sometimes fabricating the momentum looks like putting up a sheet,
period,
so that you can have a nice backdrop. It looks like shooting your pictures on your phone for right now. It looks like getting together with your girls and putting it together with what you have right now. Because it sounds so cliche and everybody says it, but everything you have is all that you need. It's really all that you need.
It's everything. I had an old trainer when I was a matchmaker, and she would always say, shout out to Lisa Purdom. She always just came in with fire and energy, and she said, if you act busy, you'll be busy. If you act busy, you'll be busy. If you act busy, you'll be busy. And I would just like call somebody on the phone, and I would get sales. If you just, everybody's buying it. Everyone's doing it. People eventually will be fooled into something is happening over there. Yes. I don't know what's going on, but something is happening. And that is something that you have to have in the industry. Everybody's like waiting. Sometimes it's just momentum. Sometimes it's literally the universe responding to whatever craziness that you over there doing or conjuring up. And when you start doing that, I'm a strong believer in faith. I'm like, when God sees you working, he's like, let me get him a little something for over there working. Yeah. Let me drop them a little. Right. Like, I see you over there. And then blessings start to happen.
Exactly.
You're like, you'll never guess what happened. What?
Yeah.
I was walking in the grocery store and I saw this guy and I started talking to him, and he's a photographer and he got this new backdrop and he wants to test out some new things and is just looking for talent.
There we go.
Ain't gonna charge me nothing.
And that's how it works.
How my whole career got started.
Literally.
Whole career got started because someone wanted to start their business and they needed a brown model and saw me. That was the first photos I ever had taken of me. Shout out to Jesse Dugan again. That's how I got my very first agent, who stayed with me for 10 years, who got me out here to come to LA, who became my manager for my entire family, who is now letting me go.
And that's why you can't wait until everything is perfect. Arlen Hamilton, she's like this entrepreneur, major investor. She's amazing. She's a Black woman. She's killing the game. But she always says, we were on a Zoom call for this like entrepreneur pitch competition thing I was doing years ago. And she got on and she said, be who you are so that the people looking for you can find you. And that always stuck with me, because I'm like, I don't have to wait until I drop these extra 10 pounds, because somebody right now is looking for somebody with these 10 pounds.
Boom.
Hello.
Be who you are. Stop waiting until you're perfect. Stop waiting until your hair get a little longer before you decide you want to act or you drop. Get out there and do it now, because somebody's looking for you.
Yeah. To add to both of y'all is also your words. She said faith without works is dead. So that's what you're basically saying, right? But also your words. When you say things, you give it life. You say I'm ugly, well then you're gonna be ugly. If you say, when you say things, you give it life. So it's like I had to learn to stop saying I'm an aspiring actor.
Come on.
Or actress at the time, right? And say that I'm an actress. And as soon as I started saying and proclaiming that I was an actress, I began to be an actor. I became an actress. As soon as I told people I became. And like people started asking me to do things such as act. They started asking me to come to set. Once I told them once I proclaimed it or declared it, I was on so many sets after that. That's how I got my start in Houston. I just started saying it. I wasn't like, oh, I'm an aspiring actor. I'm here in Houston trying to take classes. I'm just trying to act. I ain't trying nothing. I do this.
I do this.
I said I modeled. I ain't never modeled, y'all. My first modeling gig, I was on for Fabletics, matter of fact.
Come on, cheeks.
I was bending. My niece was like, Auntie, I'm tired of looking at your butt. But look, that's besides the point. When I first started saying I was a model, I booked modeling work. And I hadn't done any modeling at all. I mean, when I tell you I don't know how to walk, didn't know how to pose, but I said it and it became so. Now I can do a little something, because it just comes, it comes to you and you grow in it.
Yeah.
But you have to speak it.
You have to.
I think everybody underestimates the power of being. Everybody's trying to be an actor. Everybody's trying to be a thespian. Everybody's trying to be a character. And what I've learned so much of my training is that it's just simply you being the most authentically you, because you are not convinced that you are some character. You are not convinced that you're some type.
Yes.
You just are in this moment with whatever isms that you have or with whatever impediment you may have. But that goes for the entire industry.
Yeah.
Like you are in that moment. So if you're sitting on the side of the road and you're like, I just want to do this, well, you're not doing it.
Yeah.
So just get out and do something, and like you said, you'll be it.
Yeah.
And once you start being, people will want you to come be with them.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's what we're missing. It's just be, just exist. Like, you know, it's so important in this industry. But get to it. Get to something.
Yeah.
What about red flags in casting calls?
Oh, okay. Can I start there first?
Yes.
Okay. People will call you in, just like with business. I hate to make this like a gender thing. We won't make it a gender thing. I'll just say, for me as a woman, a lot of men will use business to try to get close to me. And they'll use, in this case, you know, acting. I'm making a movie. And before you know it, they're trying to get with you at the same time. And there's this thing called the casting couch now. Since the Me Too movement has come forward, the casting couch has been kind of falling in the background. People aren't talking about it as much because people aren't doing it as much. But the casting couch, basically, some producer, director, writer, whoever, would have someone who they're interested in come to like a hotel or something and offer them some role of a lifetime or some opportunity.
Red flag. Hotel. Opportunity of a lifetime. Red flag.
Yeah. So you get offered this opportunity, you show up to this hotel. I mean, and it can go in a number of different ways, but you'd show up and they'd offer you this, you know, fantastic opportunity. But there's a caveat. All right. What is that? You need to give me what I need. Did I use the word in the right tense?
No, you did.
I was like, did I say caveat right?
Caveat.
So there's a catch, right? So the catch is, I want what's in your underoos or what you can do to me. And when that happens, you're in this weird position, especially if you're green and you don't know any better. And you're like, oh my gosh, this person can blacklist me or blackball me, or this person, you know, could make my life better. And if you're gullible or green, you may do it, right? And you have to have enough maturity in you and wisdom in you to know to say, this is not right. But some people have done it, and some people we've seen on TV that are famous have done it in the past, and that's why we know them today, because they did what they did. And that's not to shame them, but this is what the casting couch is. It's when you pay to play, basically. You pay with something, okay? I actually had an opportunity last year, 2 years ago. Some old gentleman, multimillionaire man, pulled me on the casting couch. He called me in for an interview. I came to interview with this man on camera. I saw some of his footage. I was like, cool, I'll do it. You know, we're always looking for an opportunity. I get there. Everything seems cool. Then he hits me with so what do you need from me? In his office, on a couch, by ourselves on a Sunday. The cameraman was way away. And he kept asking me, and there's other details I'm leaving out, but the man basically was asking me what I needed from him. He told me my boyfriend wasn't crap and that I didn't need him and I could do better. Mind you, this man looked like Santa Claus. But we're sitting on his couch, and he had already made a few passes when he was giving me a tour of his facility. He mentioned something about my boobs and how I could do this and this. And I just kind of went, because I was uncomfortable at this point.
Right.
But when we went back to the office to talk, granted, we had a lot of space, but he was basically offering to be my sugar daddy. And right now we wouldn't be sitting here if I had said yes. But
we have morals. Because none of us would be here.
I would.
That's wild.
We would have. Yeah, but he's, you know, he was, I'm not going to reveal who he is because he's attached to something like a rodent. So.
Rodents.
Yeah.
Well, one, can we also say red flag? Everything is in the name. Why are we casting on couches? Get up off that couch. Don't be on nobody's couch.
Don't be on nobody's
It's all in the name. One.
Yeah.
Like, that's
lay down on the couch. Let me have you lie down.
Well, and also in 2025, right? Like, there's a lot of opportunities, obviously, that arise from referrals in the industry. Or like, people know other people, are like, hey, I know you. Like, would you be interested? But there's also, whenever you do get referred from someone outside of your agent, because usually when you have your agent, there is a level of safety and security and camaraderie that you have and trust. So if there was a situation that were to arise, you could go to an agent. But what happens when someone's like, hey, we're in LA, everyone's doing something, and you do get a personal invite, right? Because a lot of times that's how things happen. What are some of the red flags in the way that you can see in the path that are coming down, you know? And so I think it's like, one, who all gonna be there, right? Like, what's the number of people who's gonna be in this room, right? Who is your team? Right? Identifying other people in the room, you know, making sure that you just look out for things, you know. And again, when we're young, we're like trying to figure it out ourselves. So you may not know. Crystal wouldn't fall into that same situation today.
No.
I guarantee
That's
you.
why I'm not
wouldn't.
rich now.
Right. But we don't need to be rich. It's okay. We're going to be rich.
But just put on your thinking cap. When you are submitting for things, Google these people's names. Google their names. Go to their Instagram pages.
See who knows them.
See who knows
Ask them. What you know about this person?
Look it up. All these producers' names are on there.
But also, some of these people are reputable.
Yep.
They're big name people. Don't get it twisted. These lawsuits are not lawsuits for nothing.
Right.
These big name people are taking advantage of people. I'm not gonna say all of them are, but a lot of them do take advantage of the fact that you know who they are and how much money they have and the power that they have, and they use that as leverage to get what they want out of you, be it narcissism and manipulation, like we talked about earlier, and opportunities like we saw what happened with the singer and the rapper. Yeah, so that's something else as well. It's like the big name people. It's the people who we don't know and the people who we do know.
Yeah,
they all out there.
Yeah.
But it's up to you. You're the only variable that's consistent.
Yeah.
And so I think, going back to red flags, I think the biggest thing for me as an actor is if you don't have a daily routine, if you don't have things that you consistently do, whether you're on set or not on set, that are enhancing your ability to be on set, that's a huge red flag for me. If you don't have a morning routine, if you don't have a nighttime routine, you don't have a workout routine, you don't have a study routine, you don't have a writing routine, you don't have an audition routine, you don't have any routine, you're probably going to be the one that gets duped in the business.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because when you do those things, you learn more, you gain knowledge, but you also have a sound body, you also have a sound mind. So when you step into situations, you're able to assess a little bit more, you're able to step back and say, am I tripping?
Yep. It goes back to what we talked about in the previous episode about being grounded in something. You have to be grounded in something because you will get out here and you'll start just falling for any and everything.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
And then be beautiful.
Yeah.
Be beautiful.
I want to talk about two words that get me. I don't know if this is controversial, but I don't like going to a casting call and seeing the words in perpetuity.
Oh my gosh.
Girl.
Can we talk about what that means?
For never, never.
For never,
For never. It means forever, y'all.
Yes,
Forever,
it means
ever.
forever. And I think, let's be real, there are a lot of major brands that are doing this.
Yeah.
I've seen it and I'm looking at it like, I know you got the money to pay me for the rest of my life, but you just refuse to. What in perpetuity means is they're going to take your image, your footage, whatever they shoot on that day, and they can use it forever without paying you an extra dime outside of that session fee or that buyout that they've already paid you. It's not worth it. You might need the $3,500 check right now, but you're going to be really upset when you're 60 years old, living off retirement, and you look up and your face is on a billboard and that $3,500 is long gone.
Or they renewed that commercial 35 years later and it's happening. Like, it's crazy. Again, if you have representation who is truly representing you, they won't even send you anything that says in perpetuity because they're all about your coins and theirs too.
Yeah, because it affects theirs.
Right? Because then they don't get paid.
Right.
Exactly.
So again, representation and having people vouch and lawyers and contracts and understanding these things are incredibly important. Stay away from that word.
Now, don't get it twisted. We've all been there.
Absolutely.
When you start your career off, a lot of times you do stuff that you probably would cringe at after you get a little ahead. I've done some things that were in perpetuity. I'm not beating myself up over it.
Good.
It just was what it was, but I'm not doing it again. And it wasn't a lot of things. Some of this stuff was like these social media ads or whatever, products. You know, I did like a hair tool once, and that was in perpetuity, and they don't pay. They were offering me $150 per, did I sign an NDA? Well, I didn't say the name of the company. They were offering me $150 per shoot. My videos were in the tens of millions. I sold the company out of product.
Wow.
And they asked me to come back. And then they asked me to come back again. And I was really poor at the time. We were talking about eating them corn and beans and stuff like that. I was in that phase and I had already lost my car. So I'm in a struggle mode. So it's very easy to get caught up in that kind of stuff. And especially like right now, they're doing AI. They're asking people to come in and surrender their image and likeness for AI videos in perpetuity, right? Don't let your circumstance pull you into something that will have you out there permanently forever. Gratefully, that product isn't really on the market anymore. So I'm not worried about it like hindering me for future reference. And also I'm in the union. I wasn't in the union at the time. But you look back on those things, and then when they asked me to come back, I saw the numbers. I was like, well, I'm doing all these numbers on your videos. I was like, I would like to ask for more money. They'd be like, oh, we don't have it in the budget. I'm like, how you don't have it in the budget? And I sold your products out. What you mean?
Period.
Yeah.
You've made millions of dollars off of a $150 video that I did for you. Make that make sense. And then didn't even give me the product. I ain't even got one of the flat irons.
That's wild.
I'm still using something I got from Walmart.
See? Look at that.
The product was good, but it pull your hair out. You gotta be careful. They don't teach you how to properly use it. I'm gonna throw some shade. I'm gonna throw some shade. Like, look, and don't be lying on these products either. Don't be, I'm gonna pay. They paying me $200. $200 ain't nothing.
It's nothing.
And that's all you gonna get.
Yeah.
That's all you gonna get,
It's
y'all.
all you're gonna get forever. In addition to Crystal, I have made that mistake before, which is why I can speak so confidently about it. I did stills and video for a water filtration brand, got my little payout, and 4 years later, somebody sent me a picture of myself, or a picture of me on the side of one of their company vans, and I'm sitting there with the water. Everybody in LA seeing my face on the side of this van. They pull up to the people's houses, it's my face. You probably, if you have a home with a water filtration system, you probably see my face. And then
Let me close my mouth.
No, for real. No, 6 months after that, some friends of mine were in Vegas visiting some of their family, and they had the water filtration system, and I guess they give them like a little magazine to talk about water. I'm on the cover of the magazine with my water. Don't do it. Don't do it. Girl. And they still using my face today, and I will never see another dime. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
It's not. And I will say on the opposite end, this has never happened to me because I've been with my same agent literally since the day that I started. And she's just always refused against it. But I will say on the opposite end, I just received a check for $750 for a commercial I did 8 years ago.
That's what it's supposed to be like.
Randomly. I'm like, I don't even know how y'all have my address. I done moved 5 times.
Right.
Like, where did you track me down? And so I think obviously it works, and so in those moments where you're like, I need that extra $750. Like these kids have activities, right? Like Liam needs a new bat. Like that's $350. Like there are things that can happen, but it just goes to show it works, on both ends on, what that looks like. So
yeah.
Very important topic.
Very important.
Yeah.
It is.
But don't do it in perpetuity. The buyouts. But I don't like buyouts.
Ditto.
I don't like them, but your agent, because of the way the climate is right now, they might still send you buyouts. It just depends on what it is. If you're gonna do it, do something that's like time frame. So like, say for instance, we had the millennium, right? The new millennium that lasted for like a few years, and we were on to something else. Like every few years there's a new talk, and then we had the whole pandemic. Like nobody's talking about the millennium anymore. Nobody cares about the millennium because we're in the post-pandemic era. Right. So that's okay, but make sure it's like time related. Like what am I trying to say? The word, not time related, but like
they can't use it forever. It's relevant for today's age.
Right.
Yeah. I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like if it's something that's very specific for like when all when the Me Too stuff was like real heavy, or when DEI was like heavy in rotation and they were using Black people and people of color everywhere they could. Now it's not popular anymore, so now they're pulling it off the shelves. But that kind of stuff. It was a trend. Things that are trending.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
Trendy.
Yeah, if it's a trendy video, go ahead, sure. But if it's gonna die out, like Bitcoin and all that, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Also, just read, man.
Man, I'm sorry.
Read.
Like, be able to read. And I know everybody just wants to jump into something, but a lot of y'all can't read.
Man.
And you just choose not to. And you choose not to do any reading and discovering and finding out red flag. Like you constantly want to be in the industry, but you don't want to read. Like
and research what you don't understand.
Right. And really find out. Like Ruby said, like SAG has all of the information out there. We have the internets. We have chat. We have all the things. So like find out what your contracts really say.
Yeah.
Find out what they really mean. Hey, chat, I'm not the best person at reading contracts. Can you break this down for me like a third grader and tell me if I should sign this contract or not, if it benefits me or benefits the other company more? Like, that's where we are in life and the capabilities that we have with the internet. So, like, use it for good. Like, there's some information you should just already have because it's out there.
So, yeah, use the internet.
Yeah, use the internet to your advantage, but also just be educated. Educated. Educate yourself in the industry. Because if you're not educating yourself, like, what are we doing? You really don't want to be in this industry.
And don't be in no table read and you can't read the word conceal.
This girl.
No, because nothing pisses me off than seeing an adult who can't read. I'm talking about reading for comprehension for the contract. I'm talking about reading, period. Like, you telling me that you read the word imagination and you sounding it out at your big age?
Big age.
You're over 18. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear you. You can't say the word conceal. You want I beg your finest pardon. So anyway, let me not be a jerk.
Also, be able to read what's under the line as an actor.
Under the what?
Under the line. Don't be on the line. It's my imagination. That's not what the line meant. Be able to read under the line. That's a different conversation.
I was going to say, that's another episode.
That goes back to your skills or lack thereof. But,
yeah. Basic things, red flags of being able to read, being able to like actually read with literacy, but also your people skills.
Read the room.
Read the room.
Read the room.
Can you read the room?
Butterfly in the sky.
Break that down. Break that down so that they can really get what that means.
Are you educated in the process which is unfolding in front of you in the moment? And are you understanding how in which you are responding in the room to see if you are actually booking the room?
Girl, you just gave a Cornell West description.
I
it was
love
great.
I love
Like, do you know what it means when the casting director asks you to do it 5 times? Are you getting more and more nervous because they're asking you because you think you're doing poorly? Or are you actually doing poorly and they're asking you to do it because you can't read the word conceal? Is that why they asked you 5 times? Or are they asking you because the first take you did was so exciting, so engaging, that they're like, ooh, try it like this.
I want to see more.
Do it like this. And are you sitting there getting nervous because they're asking you to do it more? Or are you getting more into it because you're like, oh no, we playing.
We playing.
We're
It's
playing.
time to have fun.
Can you read the difference as to what is transpiring in front of you in the moment, and what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Like, are you truly understanding what's happening in front of you?
Yeah.
For my bookworms, I would recommend Emotional Intelligence.
That's a book.
It's a book. It's a book. And if you don't feel like you have the capability to do what Robin is explaining, that's a really great book that teaches you social awareness, self-awareness. Being emotionally intelligent we all have an emotional IQ where I can look at you and tell, okay, she's a little bothered right now. Maybe I need to move over a little bit. I can tell I'm getting on her nerves.
Example. What happened this morning? Example. Our friend Kristen came in. She had a long night. She was up all night. She was, we were looking at stuff for the podcast. And Ruby and I were already here. We were already chipper. We were all excited. Kikiing. And Crystal comes to the front door, which I told her to go around to the back. And I had to navigate her to the back. And she had her wagon with all of her things that she was trudging along to make sure that this podcast went so incredibly well. And you could just tell Crystal wasn't feeling it. Something in the air wasn't feeling it. And Ruby and I observed it. And then she and I observed each other.
Mm-hmm.
We looked at each other just like
Yes,
this.
we did.
It was 0.25 seconds. We looked at each other.
Yes.
And I said, you know what? Let me just glue this mug back real quick. So I was gluing a mug. And I said, let me just glue it. And let Crystal have her space in the moment right now until Crystal can get settled
Yes.
in the space. It didn't bother me. But I knew that there was something. We could read the room. So we shifted our energy to suit what needed to happen so that our friend could find a space to be welcomed in the way in which she needed to.
And I appreciate y'all.
And she found her space. She said what she needed to say. We had a little dialogue about it. Brought in a third party to talk about it.
And it had nothing to do with them.
Nothing to do with
Nothing.
But we read the room.
Yeah. But that's also emotional intelligence to say, I'm not going to take this personally right now because I know it's not me. I haven't done anything. And if I did, I know she would tell me. So now let's go into support mode. Just get the book, y'all.
But be secure enough in yourself to realize it ain't me.
It ain't me.
Yeah.
Let me be emotional intelligent enough to evaluate somebody and say, oh, they need something from me right now. And it's not about me. That's what people are looking for from you when you are trying to book a job on set.
Because they will also have days when they come to set and it's like you had a fight with your husband or your kids are not acting right. And it's like, yeah, we don't want to bring our personal things with us to work, but it's natural. Especially if you just got off the phone arguing or whatever have you walking through the door and Robin's like, Crystal. And I'm like, it wasn't her. It was just like, I got to shake this off. But I'm like, oh, my face won't stop looking so stank. Like, stop, Kristen. I was like, but I'm hungry too. And then and I'm sleepy. All these things.
Her some food. I was like, you hungry?
She did.
You want some juice?
And I was like, oh, snap out of it. Snap out of it. But when you work with people, that's why it's important to have certain relationships with people. They want to work with people that they like, people that they can call friend. In the regular world, be like, oh, your coworkers are not your friends. But when in this industry, you want to be able to break bread with people. And if I come in the way that I came in, not to say that I was like hella stank or nothing like that. I was just having a bad morning. And I wasn't trying to bring it in here, but it wouldn't shake off fast enough because I also needed to get in here. And I was like, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. And it wouldn't shake. But I so appreciate y'all because it could have gone a different way. But we also, like, again, emotional intelligence. They understand that we're going to all have bad days sometimes.
Right.
Robin has had days where wasn't feeling it either. On when we were doing our Zoom calls or FaceTime calls. And we'd be like, all right, Robin. Robin was Robining. And we let her Robin.
It's these kids.
It's these kids, child. It's these kids. It ain't really them because they good. But they just got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. We be stressed.
Tired, exhausted.
Want to take a nap.
Okay.
But everybody's tired and exhausted on set. So what do you do when everybody's tired and exhausted? Because everybody's traveling from Australia to Brazil to LA to New York with these kids, with these husbands, with these spouses, with these experiences. It's like, do you have the emotional intelligence enough to be able to turn it on and turn it off and to also be aware of everyone else around you?
Right. Yeah. It's a high stress environment.
It is.
Yeah.
So there's a lot at stake. There's tons of money on the line. There's time to take into consideration. And there's life that's taken into consideration. There's so many different moving parts. So emotional intelligence goes far beyond just relationships. It goes into the workplace. It goes into everything that we do.
Absolutely. Question?
I know we're going to have to come back and do a part 2 of this.
Yes.
There's
a lot of red flags. I'm like, I saw a red flag today, y'all. Red flag just flying out there.
Listen.
We're going to call this Red Flags Part 1 then.
Yeah.
There will be another down the line.
Right.
Yeah.
What did we learn while being off of set that has made us better this week for when we get back on set? What is something that happened this week that made you better?
You know, I'm working on being more vulnerable in character. And I had a situation, a personal situation where I was actually being more vulnerable. And we talked about it. But like now I'm like, I can use that. Because like last week when we talked about having real life experiences and using those real life experiences, because if you haven't had life, how can you be a good actor? If you've never done anything, if you've never had a heartache or giving birth, how can you really embody what it's like to give birth to a child if you've never done it? I mean, you can, but being vulnerable or being in love or whatever the case may be. So I've experienced something this week that kind of made me go, I'm going to use that. Soft girl life over here.
Soft girl. Even with the toxic energy, you're like, I'm sorry. Did you say something? I'm just soft girling it.
Yeah. And you know, so many times we get roles that, like, I get a lot of roles where they want me to argue with men. Yeah. And I don't want that. But it's hard for me to be the soft girl on camera. But today I was like, I can do this.
I can do this.
I just saw it when you did it just now.
Yeah.
I was like, hey. Got me. Look, he did it again. He got me blushing over here. Look.
I'm sorry.
I can't.
I didn't really mean that. I didn't mean to make you feel that way. I'm sorry. Y'all stop.
I love this. I love this. I think for me, growing up, maybe this is a thing like in Black households, like when your mama walk in the house, you need to be doing something.
Oh my gosh.
You don't need to be laying around. You need to be doing something.
You can be mopping air. It don't matter.
You better be doing something. And you stupid. She laughing because
chicken better be out of the freezer.
I'm the black mama. I'm laughing. As soon as I come in the house, I know they hate to hear me come. They be like, God, she back. Like, what we gonna do? Pick up something, a pencil.
You better not be relaxing.
Talk to yourself.
Oh my God.
Recite a monologue.
Do something.
Pick up a book.
Be productive. And I think I carried that with me into adulthood, and it's made me feel like I always need to be doing something. I always need to be busy. I always need to, and it's made me kind of reject rest. Rest has felt like, you don't need rest. You got too much to do. Mm-hmm. There's always something to do. And there is always something
rest
to
your
do.
behind over there.
You better rest your behind in them dishes.
And get the rest of them dishes.
Get the rest of them dishes.
Y'all stupid.
I can't.
No, that's real.
Tell me you grew up in a black household without telling me you grew up in a black household. I get the rest of them dishes. The rest of them dishes. And this week, I can't deal with y'all.
Because they'll use that in any situation.
They know how to flip them words.
The word.
We saying
they. Because it's us. We are they.
No, because like, say for instance, if you talking about the room being clean, like, oh, I just feel so bad because I got rejected from the police. You better reject that room. Like they will use any adjective.
You reject. You reject.
Any verbs. You better Google this bad.
No.
Reject your butt out my room.
You better eject your butt.
Reject, eject. I'm gonna neglect you. Like, right? Like, how do we get to neglect? What?
Y'all stupid.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Ruby.
I
We're having a moment.
I cannot breathe. Oh my gosh.
But you were saying. Y'all are stupid. The black mama.
I just wanted to say that I rested this week.
Oh.
And I made myself not feel guilty for just being.
Amen.
And I think what came to me was just being. And I think many times as actors, we tend to overthink. Oh, they're an experienced chef. Well, what do I just be? Mm-hmm. Just be. And doing that, it just kind of it clicked something in me that I was like, yeah, I think I can take that with me into my set life, into my auditions.
Yes.
Yeah. Because resting is just being. I'm just being where I am in this moment. I'm not worried about what's going on. I'm just being here with my current surroundings, with my current emotional state. Mm. And as actors, I think that's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. For me this week, last week we talked about, I just finished the first year of my conservatory, which is like the underlying training, which has been awesome. But the second year is really intense. And so our very last class, we worked on impediments, which is what we're starting. For those of you who don't know what impediment is, it's a limp, it's having a seizure, it's being on a drug, under the influence of something, it's having physical characteristics about you. It's very intense, but very fun. And so I was very nervous about my last class doing the impediments. And I don't get in class ever nervous because I just know everybody so well and it's just a really comfortable place. But I was like, oh my gosh, I'm nervous. And what ended up happening is I did the impediment. I didn't get very many notes. It was great. It went well because I just decided to be. But one of the things that I noticed was like, no, I did it and allowed myself freely to be there. And so I just had a whole new way about me coming into like my thought process about second year. But show you how everything in your life fuses together. Because I am a volleyball coach, I'm starting at one of the high schools and I had to go through and get drug tested and do my CPR training and everything. And so I'm in CPR training and we're literally going over all of the impediments for class that I wanted to understand why when someone has a seizure, why they move the way that they do, how you move them, when you move them, what the purpose of that is for. And so it was just another really great experience to one, do something outside of acting that relates back to your acting. And it was just really great to have that ease of being like, oh wow, look at the dualities of my worlds coming together. So that's what I learned. You can find your experience offset all the time. That's where it always is.
Absolutely. Well, thank y'all for joining us for another episode of Life Offset. Don't be a red flag out here. Don't get caught slipping with the red flags that's out here. Okay, we will see y'all next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave your comments. If you have questions you want us to answer, drop them questions, y'all. This is interactive. We wanna talk to y'all.
Drop them questions.
Drop them. That's it.
That's it.
We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.